Mixed messages of clean governance as more MPs with questionable credentials are sworn in. The death of 5 South Africans contribute to the staggering death toll from this year's Hajj in Saudi Arabia.
I'm livid for this inconvenience. 12 hours is okay, but freaking 72 hours, hell no.
Anger over the lack of water in some parts of South Africa. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
This is Eyewitness News.
Those who have taken the oath, raise your right hand and say, "So help me God." Who have been duly sworn in. Thank you very much.
We will have to wait a little longer to find out what the makeup of the Government of National Unity's cabinet will be, but today we found out the full complement of our MPs.
After an initial boycott over the election results, MK members are now finally sworn in as members of Parliament. 21 changes have been made to the original candidate list handed to Parliament. It includes former Western Cape High Court Judge President John Hlophe, which the previous Parliament impeached in February. Other new recruits are former Finance Minister Des Van Rooyen and former EFF MP Andile Mqitama. Former President Jacob Zuma's daughter, Dudizile Zuma Zambudla, and party spokesperson Nahlamula Ndlela are also new to the parliamentary benches, where the party will take up 58 seats as the third largest party in the House. David Skosana, the husband of former Public Protector, now EFF MP Busisiwe Mkhwebane, is also among new MK MPs. Former Sports Minister, ANC NEC member Zizi Kodwa, has also been sworn in today, despite facing corruption charges. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The ANC in Limpopo has dismissed criticism of the appointment of Kabor Mwai as Finance MEC. In 2021, Mwai was dismissed from the International Relations Department for overseeing a botched purchase of non-existent land in New York for 118 million rand. At the time of the purchase, Mwai was a Director General at Durka and left the department after being charged with gross negligence and dereliction of duty. ANC provincial spokesperson Jimmy Machaka says the party didn't find the Durka incident to be disqualifying as the matter was settled in court to Mwai's favour.
They are not criminally charged and they are not attending to any criminal proceedings. And therefore, any complaint against their appointment is mischievous because it's not substantiated by any facts, both politically and in law.
And this, the non-agriculture sector, has shed over 67,000 jobs. Stats SA says this brings employment in that sector down to 10.6 million jobs.
I'm livid for this inconvenience. 12 hours is okay, but freaking 72 hours, hell no.
Expressing just how inconvenient the water shutdown is, Debbie Villensa is one of many who has no access to any water on the Cape Flats. 30 areas have been affected since the city of Cape Town started a 3-day water supply maintenance project on Sunday.
I just think it wasn't a good idea doing it during school holidays. I've got my kids and my grandkids at home, so it's kind of extra challenging, getting through all of this. However, I am happy that it's easily accessible to get the water.
In Gauteng, Rand Water has warned that taps could run dry in some parts of Joburg during the course of the extensive infrastructure maintenance project that's currently underway and urged residents not to stockpile supplies during this period. The project kicked off on Saturday, is expected to take a total of 37 days with completion scheduled for the 29th of July.
We're saying we're still going to be pumping during the process, and we have engaged municipalities to say, should there be challenges, they'll be able to have roaming tankers and they'll be able to communicate with the residents.
5 South African pilgrims have died during this year's annual Muslim pilgrimage or Hajj in Saudi Arabia. 3 of them in the city of Medina before performing their pilgrimage, while the remaining 2 passed on while undertaking it. Durka officials say their deaths had nothing to do with the extreme heat, which claimed more than 1,300 lives. Many of those victims, who walked long distances in direct sunlight without adequate shelter or comfort, did not have official permits and so were not authorized to be there.
We had asked our Consulate General in Jeddah for a report. And although there were 5 persons from South Africa who had undertook to go to Hajj, had passed on, all those that had passed on were people who had died either out of illness but not as a result of the heat wave.
Free at last. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is to be a free man once a judge signs off on a plea deal with US authorities to bring to a close his years-long legal drama. Assange was released on Monday from a high-security British prison where he'd been held for 5 years while he fought extradition to the United States, which sought to prosecute him for revealing military secrets about the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. He is expected to be sentenced to 5 years and 2 months in prison, with credit for the same amount of time spent behind bars in Britain. And back to South Africa today, we leave you with these pictures of the new KZN cabinet meeting up with the Zulu king, Misizulu Kazwelithini, at the old legislature building in Ulundi to pay their respects today.
Eyewitness News, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, log on to ewn.co.za or ewn.mobi.